Hello and welcome to this week's look at action and stunts on film and television and to 2025. Is it everything that you expected it would be? I know we're early yet. We're only in the first couple of weeks or so, but nevertheless, it's got to be good, right? It's got to be better than last year, eh? Well, let's hope that that's the case. Cling to that as we take you back in time to 1973 and the movie Electra Glide in Blue. It is a cop picture. The trailer and the advertising is quite heightist, if that's a thing. The lead actor is Peter Blake, which we will touch on briefly later on. And he's 5'4". The quote in the trailer is, he's a 5'4" cop in a 6'2" world. When has it ever been a 6'2" world? I'm 5'7.5". I feel larger than life. In fact, I feel 6'2". I don't know whether there was a major height thing going on in the early 70s. I was only one when this movie came out, so I can't really comment on any experience that I had myself. I was quite a large baby, all things considered. I certainly wasn't as big as 5'4", and I think the height of this particular cop makes it very clear that that's the key to this. There was a time in Britain particularly where if you wanted to be in the police force, you needed to be a certain height in order to get in. Now, anybody gets in. Doesn't matter. You could have done 6 weeks of panto as one of Snow White's dwarves. There's still a possibility that you'll get through, you know. So that's probably where this comes from. But he is a motorcycle cop and wants to join the homicide section because he believes that a crime that took place, which was registered as a suicide, was in fact a murder. And he reckons that he has the wherewithal to sort this out. The movie, if you've ever seen the movie, you'll understand why I'm not really talking about plot or anything of that nature, because it's quite complicated. And by complicated, I mean horrible. It's a terrible film. It's probably very well written, but the director had never made a movie before, and he decided that it was already running over schedule. To make compensations for that, he just removed large sections of the script so they didn't have to film it, which probably explains why the plot is overly complicated and doesn't make a great deal of sense, even if you had a really good grasp of what was going on. So, luckily, what they've agreed to do is they've inserted an action sequence which kind of makes up for it. You forget that this particular movie has no direction, is very poorly written. It's not really very well acted either. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Having said that, the action sequence is absolutely essential for those few minutes that it's on screen, but there's a relationship between the two policemen going on, and that happens during the chase. So, you know, it's a really important moment. You've got a great team of people involved in this. BUD EKINS is the stunt arranger on the motorcycle chase, and he's working with Bill Hickman, who is the second unit director. These names are very familiar to you. BUD EKINS, of course, Steve McQueen's great mate, and doubled him, of course, in Great Escape. And also Bill Hickman, an extraordinary driver, not only as an actor and a stuntman, but also as a second unit director, as we see here. There are a number of shots here which are very Hickman. He's taken a lot of what he's seen at that time and they've moved it to a slightly different level. I don't remember seeing slow-mo shots like we're going to see in this as often. And it's almost to accentuate the fact that if you blink, you might miss this. So I'm going to slow the frames down, and I'm going to do this section in slow-mo so that you really appreciate what's going on. And there are some great names in this. Jimmy Roberts is in here. Ronnie Rondell's in there as well. So let's take a look at the action on this and explore it in greater detail. Here it comes. So, let's take a look at Electra Glide in Blue from 1973. Reminiscent of Chips. You remember Chips? California Highway Patrol, that's what they were. John and Punch doing their thing. Well, this slightly different situation, and obviously driving along and you discover that there's a motorcycle thug. He's been spotted, he's been clocked. This whole sequence, obviously, you know, it's been written, it's been worked out to the last detail, but it's without question the best thing in the whole movie. There's a great deal of stuff going on here that's wonderful. The movie itself isn't that great, and a lot of the shooting schedule and the way in which it was dealt with by the director has to answer for that. But there's lots of these wonderful sweeping shots. Director of photography here is Bill Hickman. He's the second unit director on this, and he is responsible for getting some of these shots. Lots of close-ups, so there'll be a tracking vehicle. Other vehicles tracking the split down here, look. And it's always, this is natural road. They've found locations where they can use these long shots. There's an ND driver going by there. That's all timing. That's got to be done properly. You want to get out of the way, but give the impression. Here, on the other hand, is Jimmy Roberts going right over the top. Ugh, bosh. And landing right in a heap there. He's got pegs on the side of the bike so he can just get himself up and over the handlebars so he doesn't crash his shins against the handlebars. And the next one who's going to come a cropper. Up! Oh dear. And down he goes. And then they've replaced him with a dummy. And rightly so, because there's an awful lot going on there. Moving across the other side of town. And again, lots of low-angle shots. One of the policemen is going to take a gun out here. Here he comes, and he fires. Ronnie Rondell's on the bike. Bang, shoots, and he's got to trigger that explosion as he comes across the road. And then the slow-mo lay down as the bike goes down. It's fabulous stuff, it really is. And again, this is early 70s. So this is all being done for real. The little guy decides, no, you're not having that, and then kicks him off the bike. And again, it's slowed way down, but that's not an easy off. These are big bikes too, Harley Davidsons. You lay one of those down at your peril. He's not happy, is he? He's not happy. Now, watch this landing here. He nearly loses it. Oh, it's all over the road there, isn't it? And I suspect there was another sequence there where he probably did lose it in the original take. But it's now mano a mano. It's one-on-one. And the two bikes coming together. This little push here, there, and then in through the window. Slow-mo again, down the other side. I mean, that's right into camera. That's magnificent. I believe that's Jimmy Roberts again. So, super stuff. This is the end of the picture. this guy, the cop, he stopped the guy, he's let him go, and he's realised that he's forgotten something. And he's driving, he's waving at him to say, "Hoi, look, you've forgotten something." And then this guy drops down the partition window, pulls a shotgun, and gives him both barrels. Bang, have that. Oh! Big explosion right through the shield, and he rolls into frame. Now, it's often referred to as, and certainly from the director's point of view, the director, who again hadn't directed a movie before, but was a huge fan of John Ford. And of course, Monument Valley, you can see in the background there, one of those locations that Ford went back to and back to and back to again when he was making John Wayne pictures. So this shot here, that final moment there, and then the vehicle then pulls away. I've sped this up a bit, but it's a lingering shot, and this is the final shot in the picture as the vehicle drives away. I say I've sped it up just a touch, just so we can take the edge off it. But it's an extraordinary moment. I remember this absolutely vividly when I saw it the first time, and this moment, I mean, even though I love the action in the picture, but this moment probably more than the action stayed with me, because it is a remarkable, there's the bike there on the right hand side, that's how far it's gone along the road. It's a remarkable shot. That sky, the lighting, everything in just the right place. The colour then starts to change slightly on screen. It will start a sort of sepia mono type thing, and then it will go to the credits, and I've just isolated some of the action credits. But it's just one of those shots. How long do you hold that shot for? You know, you can keep going and keep going. There is the distinct possibility that even if Blake got up at this point and walked off, you wouldn't see him. He's so far down the line. But it's a very interesting picture. I've always, in fact, those people who were with me at the very start of this podcast will note that crash through the window was in the original titles of the show way back when. And so it's the freeze frame on the shot there, and then it goes to the clips that we've got of the end titles. You can see that everything's just starting to change colour. It's a very interesting shot that it holds it for long enough. There's a score going over this as well. The band Chicago, if you're a fan of them, they are in the movie. They're the band playing in the picture, but they also provide a great deal of the music in the film, along with the director, who is also the composer. So a lot of that to take into consideration. But as that then works its way to black and white, and that's when the titles start to roll at this point. BUD EKINS, of course, the stunt coordinator, very famous for being, as we say, the guy who did a lot of work there with McQueen, Jimmy Roberts, Scott Dockstader, Rock Walker, what an extraordinary name, Mickey Alzola, the wonderful Alan Gibbs, such a remarkable stuntman. Of course, you will know him from a number of things, but particularly jumping that Trans Am over the bridge in Smokey and the Bandit, doubling Burt Reynolds, and Ronnie Rondell, who of course was one of the driving forces behind Stunts Unlimited, and a fabulous addition to this team. And Bill Hickman and Jerry Bruchet are the remaining team on the credits. Right, there you go. Yes, who spotted my deliberate mistake? You're quite right. Peter Blake, of course, is an artist. Robert Blake is the actor I was referring to, but in my head, had a Beatles moment. He designed the cover of Sgt. Pepper. So apologies there, but, not going to hide it in an edit. I'm going to tell you I got it wrong, because that's the sort of bloke I am. On the action front, of course, some terrific stuff. Ronnie Rondell having to fire and trigger that explosion on the bike. And if you look at him closely, and he's got flammable gel all over him, and he's got to hit that thing as soon as that explosion goes off. He's engulfed, the bike's engulfed, dropping it down. It's very, very exciting stuff. A couple of near misses along the way, so you're going to have ND drivers in there too, and there's probably more stunt people credited than are actually in this. But there's some terrific moments, and some of those shots coming in through the window, over the table, through the window, right into frame. It's very, very impressive. And for saying it's 1973, they really did throw the kitchen sink at that. And that sequence, for me, it's the best part of the movie. I mean, there's no doubt about that. The rest of it really does pale into insignificance. But that is particularly good, and I hope you have enjoyed that look. Don't forget to check out the podcast. We are, of course, partway through reading Bob Simmons' autobiography, Nobody Does It Better. Another chapter will come out every Monday. If you haven't already done so, go and subscribe to the podcast. You'll find it where you find yours. Check out also, please, the Pod Dojo Network. They're the people who are responsible for the podcast. And I must say a huge thank you to you. 11,500 of you now have decided to join and subscribe to this channel. It's an absolute joy to do this on a regular basis, and I'm thrilled that 11,500 people are doing that and are enjoying the content. So thank you very much indeed. Keep your comments coming. I am trying to get through and respond to all of them as possible, but there are so many because as you know yourself, if you know anything about YouTube or you've posted YouTube videos before, if you post a fair quantity, I'm on about 500 odd now, and I get comments on all of those, or many of them, in various different stages during the course of the day. My phone is constantly being activated with messages from this and that, so if I haven't responded to you yet, I apologize. I will get round to it. It's a new year, new me, and so I'm going to do my very best to get back to all of you if you have commented, and I must thank you very much indeed from the bottom of my heart. Until next week, let's do it all again next week, shall we? Have a great week, and until next time, it's bye for now.